everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited to talk to you guys about a new item that I just got. Unfortunately, I got so excited and I couldn't wait, and I opened it out of the box and I started playing with it right away. If you're new to the channel, my name is Juan and I do things about cars. But today, I'm doing something different. I did not know anything about 3D printing until I got this puppy, but that has changed my life. So if you're trying to buy one, check this out before you do so, because I promise you, you're gonna wanna buy it even more. Let's go. So I have gotten the printer Bambu Labs A1 Mini, and that printer, according to the research I've done, is supposed to be one of the top-notch printers that is very compact, very affordable, and does so many things that some other printers that are larger and more expensive don't even do. Let's dive in and see what's all about. So as you can see here, I have dedicated this table for my 3D printer, and this is my setup currently. The 3D printer comes with a plate, which it's a heated plate, comes with the one connector for one roll of filament, and it does not come with the trash or poop collector, as they call it. And so I went ahead, and that was the first item I printed, since I did not know that it really makes a lot of poop. So if you're new to this, just beware that you may have a lot of discarded material on your little bracket and your little table that you're gonna set it up in, or might as well just print something like this to hold it. So as you can see here, I have lots of things already printed, and that's why my garbage is semi-full, even though I changed it recently. All right, wide angle activated because I feel like it wasn't getting enough, but here we are. Again, we have our lovely printer. It comes with no filament. It came with about, I don't know, I wanna say 2 meters of sample filament, which was white. And as you can see now, easily and quickly decided to go ahead and get more filament because I needed it. The contents of the box was just this, and you have one option of getting the AMS dispenser, which allows you to put 4 different filaments into it and feed it into the machine at once, so you don't have to change it. Now, in this case, this was a gift from a really nice friend of mine, and it did not come with the AMS. Therefore, I had to work with one filament, and I got very creative on printing in multicolor, and I'll show you why. Now that we have told you about the items that come in the box, let's talk about the printer itself. Now, this printer is compact, and it might look like it's very little and you can't do much with it, but it really hides a powerful mechanism. I was very surprised the stuff I was printing. As you saw, that garbage collector, it was printed in this 3D printer, obviously, because I don't have any other, and it actually came out really well. I even went ahead and printed an extension for it that I thought was with the same file, and unfortunately, I printed 2 different types, so this does not adhere, but even then, I could just snap it there and it will be even taller than what it usually was. Talking about files, if you're new to this 3D printing mechanism or hobby, if you want to call it, you're gonna need files, whether you can create them or you can get them, buy them, or get them from the sample application that comes from. So Bambu Labs is connected to MakerWorld, and you can actually access all the 3D models that they have there available for the public with a limited license. You can only print it for yourself, you cannot distribute it or sell it, which is great for somebody who is just trying it out. My initial assessment was very, very positive. I decided to print some stuff that was, in my mind, I thought it was going to be rough looking. There were gonna be really bad edges. Since I have never done that, and I've heard of 3D printers before, but I never really understood or got into it or really looked at the things or the shape and the texture that it has, and it has come a long way. So when I started printing things, I just was blown away. Also, not to mention that when you print out like little items like dragons or birds or things like that, they have self-movement. They can move out of the printer. You don't even have to connect them or do any extra work. They just get connected by themselves, or they print it connected. And so, as you know, I'm a car guy, and the first thing I printed, what was it? A car. So I 3D printed the Tesla Cybertruck, even though I can print on any multicolor printer, filament, sorry. I decided to print it in black and it looked really, really nice. Of course, obviously this is no moving pieces or anything like that. It was just more like a showpiece, but it would definitely look a lot better if it was in multicolor. But for the time being, I'm just testing it out. I'm seeing how it is. I'm getting my feet wet and I love it. After that point, I started having so much fun. I started just going like wild in my mind and printing other things that I thought they were so cool, such as keychains, some prototype device, the pieces that I needed. Like for instance, my pantry had some issues. One of the shelves was falling apart because of the little wedge pins that are on the side that hold it against the walls. Was really thin and flimsy and it was starting to rip. So I decided to design something on the online and try to come up with a 3D model that will help it, and that's what I did. So again, the immense possibilities for me to do something with this printer are just endless. I can prototype, design, save, and then ultimately print to do whatever it is that I need in my household. Now, maintenance and reliability. This is a very important topic. I know nothing about maintenance, but I've been doing a little bit of research. Not extensive, but somewhat. All I know about this printer is that you have to make sure that everything is lubricated, so it has in 2 axes, which is the x-axis and the y-axis, that you have to basically oil so it can slide up and down, side to side, and it doesn't have too much friction and it doesn't impact the motors. Another thing that I know about the printer is that it comes with a hot end, is that what they call it? And that is the nozzle that melts your plastic and creates the layers. So you can swap those out and have different types of, I guess, flows that create different textures on your printouts. As well as some items that came with a box for you to maintain that I haven't really figured out what they do. I love the fact that in this box included was one blade, and the file is included into the mechanism of the printer where you can print your blade picker or blade, I guess, prior. And in here we have in the actual screen, we have the preloaded files and your history of files that you can reprint. I'm not gonna get into details on how to use the machine, but rather give you an overview of how it all works out. Now, the most important part of this video, pros and cons. Pros. Excellent print quality. I was blown away whenever I saw that the print quality was amazing. It looked like almost it wasn't printed, as if it was just molded and, I guess, pressed. Limited size bedding. The bed is semi-small. It is 18 by 18 and that's all you can print. So if you wanted to do a mask, an arm, like armor, like, because I thought about it, Iron Man or Spider-Man and things like that, you may not be able to do it with this printer. But if you can break it down into multiple files, you may be able to, but that is your limitation. Another con would be that sometimes, and only sometimes, does not print with the quality that you wish it did, but that might be to the user error because there's something called supports. When you're printing an actual piece that is a little intricate, you need to add supports for it to be sturdy and it does not move while the printing happens. And then this can sometimes get a little shaky, and when it's shaking and printing, the pieces may fall off. I found this throughout multiple times, but then you can also kind of combat that by adding more supports or also turning the bed hotter. That's another thing that I found that it was a con, that you need to be aware of the height of your prints so you can pump up your temperature on the plate so it does not completely become hot at the bottom and kind of cold on the top, because that really makes a difference on the printing. Let's go over some demonstration. Let me show you guys what I have printed so far. So as mentioned before, I had started with some little pieces in my car, my little Tesla car right there. But then what I found very helpful, as I mentioned, was this piece that was the one that is used to scrape the pieces and pry them out of the bed. What's really cool, the actual printer also came with a clock that I haven't gotten around printing, but I will eventually. And I got really curious about this because this is something I would need. This is to hold the cables while I'm soldering them together, which is very helpful. As you can see here, I have the dragon, and then this dragon was printed fully functional at once. I did not have to plug it in or do anything with it afterwards. As you can see here, we have some nicely done manta ray, which one of the caveats about some of the files, you cannot resize them. If you try to resize the file, you may have issues like this, where you have the tail falling off because it is not as strong as the original file as a big one. Now, as I mentioned prior, I started tinkering around with some keychains, and I printed and separated them in 2 different pieces so I can do multicolor printing. Now, when you have an AMS, you do not need that because you'll have the mechanism feeding it both colors at once. We did a bird that you can blow into it and then makes noise. This is a puzzle. Now, I want to talk about this puzzle. This puzzle was very easy to print, but the texture wasn't always the greatest. And also, I noticed that this piece right here did not print properly the first time around. So that's what I found out, that the filament got tangled, and because of the shaking, 2 pieces fell off, and the rest had some filament all over the place because it thought it was printing piece by piece. That being said, I prototyped more keychains. These were the 2 files that came with the printer for me to test out, and then moved on to the brackets for the pantry that I ended up using to basically hold the shelf. Now, we have here our sword that contracts, that you can actually have it in one piece, and when you slam it, it opens up. And then we have lastly our lamp. This lamp is all completely 3D printed. I did black and clear, semi-clear, and I will be adding LED lights on inside so I can make it a fully functioning lamp. This is supposed to be basically like this. Hold on, I have one hand only. It's supposed to hold together like this, and it's supposed to be levitating lamp, and it's supposed to be 3 pieces all together. That is going to be my next project, to do LEDs into it. Now, if you like this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And if you have any ideas of things to print for car related, lighting related, or just in general, let me know. I'll be glad to print some stuff just to show it on camera. Thank you so much. I'll catch you guys on the next one.